What is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Web channel. Welcome to your weekly NXT review. I just got off of watching NXT like I usually do every single Wednesday, and it was a good show. Between decent and good. I wouldn't call it. It wasn't as good as last week's show. Let's put it that way. But it was a watchable show. I know when you say it's watchable, it's not really all that good, but I don't know. I don't want to call it a good show, but I don't want to demoralize it by calling it decent. I really don't know where the show sits, honestly, but let me go over what happened. You guys can be the judge of that by, my evaluation of it. Okay, so we start off the show with a hot match. The rematch from the second Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals round. TM-61 versus the Authors of Pain in the quarterfinals of the third Dusty Rhodes Classic. Now, I was pretty hyped for this match. I'm like, okay, they're building up TM-61. Obviously, they're going to build them up. They're going to beat Authors of Pain. They're going to beat the next opponents. They're going to go into the final rounds. I don't know about winning it. They might win it. It would be nice if they did win it, but they're going to make it to the final round. Lots of back and forth from both men. There was a really, really cool but nasty looking spot where I don't know if it was Akam or Razor, but they had Shane Thorne. Mind you, Shane Thorne's the one who just came from injury. They had him up in a power bomb position, and they started walking with him. But they were walking towards the rope. I'm like, oh, he's about to do a buckle bomb like Seth Rollins. No, this motherfucker power bombed Shane Thorne out of the ring onto the goddamn apron. Like, it looks so nasty. It looks awesome, but it looked nasty at the same time. I felt so bad for Shane Thorne. So in that spot, I'm like, okay, Shane Thorne's out of the match, so it's down to Nick Miller. So now they're taking apart Nick Miller. He hits him with a Akam or Razor. I don't know. I just keep on saying AOP. AOP hits Nick Miller with a backbreaker into the corner, and then he gets him up for the final chapter, and I'm like, oh my god, they're actually about to do this. Maybe he's about to kick out. 1, 2, 3. Authors of Pain wins and advance to the semifinals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And this kind of made me angry. Usually I don't really get that fed up. I mean, I'm not angry. I usually don't get upset with decisions made in NXT, because usually most of the time NXT is a great show and it's great decisions made, and I'm pretty happy with everything they produce. But this is one of those instances where it's like, why did they do this? I don't understand the logic behind having Authors of Pain beat TM-61. The story was right there. TM-61 made it to the final rounds of the Dusty Rhodes Classic with the Authors of Pain. They lose. Shane Thorne gets injured. They're out for a year. Probably a little over a year. They come back. They're back into the same spot they're in, facing the same people in the final round in the first round this time. The story is there. The redemption story is there for them to win. Why on earth would you have them lose to the Authors of Pain? It doesn't make any sense. I was sitting there like, what? I mean, now if they're trying to get heel heat on Authors of Pain, they did a very good job, because I honestly don't like the Authors of Pain now after that, but I don't get it. Authors of Pain already have done everything at NXT. They've won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They've already won the NXT Tag Team Championships and held it for a long period of time. They've had great matches. They had some of the best feuds in NXT with The Revival and DIY. They face just about every tag team. Why do they need to get the rub in this tournament? I don't understand it. I mean, I would like to see who they're going to face in the semifinal round, and maybe might have a better standing on if they're going to make it to the... Here's the thing. They do not, and they should not, be winning this tournament. If they make it to the semifinals, I don't like it, but fine. Don't have them win in the next round. They don't need the win. They do not need that rub. They've already won the tournament again for the first time. They don't need to win it again, and they don't need to go to the final round. So, they made a mistake here. I'll let it slide. I mean, I really don't want to, because you build up TM-61 and then, like, boom, shot them down, but whatever. We'll see where it goes. Speaking of Dusty Rhodes Classic, we got a segment with William Regal. I like how NXT keeps on doing these segments where like a bunch of people, like the paparazzi, like TMZ, They come up to them with their microphones on their phones, like, "Hey, William Regal, we got a question. We heard you just announced the Dusty Road Classic," and William Regal talks about the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and they're like, "So who's your favorite to win?" He's like, "Well, I don't want to choose favorites. I don't want to give anyone too much of a chip on their shoulder." And he leaves the frame. Then Pete Dunne comes at the frame. I'm like, "Yay, Pete Dunne!" I don't know why, but it seems like he was talking too low because I could hear William Regal what he was saying, and my audio was on a pretty good level. I heard what Wwe Nxt was saying. As soon as Pete Dunne came on, I really couldn't hear what Pete Dunne was saying. So I don't know if he was speaking quietly or if the audio just went down. But Pete Dunne said something. Roderick Strong came in. I could barely hear what Roderick Strong was saying either. Maybe they're just silent talkers. Roderick Strong said something along the lines of, I don't know if he wanted to challenge him for the UK title again. Then Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly came into the picture. Yes, I've heard about the rumor. No, not the rumor. The confirmation that Bobby Fish has gotten injured. Hopefully, they don't strip him of the titles and they just give the other title to Adam Cole. That's what I'm thinking. I think they should just have Adam Cole defend Bobby Fish's title, but we'll see what they do with that. Adam Cole comes into the frame and he's all like, he's jaw-jacking the Roderick Strong because Roderick Strong's like, "Oh, I want this, I want that," and Adam Cole's like, coming from the person who hasn't done anything since day one. Or did Roderick Strong say that to him? I don't know. Someone said something about not being able to do anything since they came in here. They got up in each other's face. Pete Dunne kind of suddenly broke it up. Adam Cole left the frame. Then Roderick Strong or Pete Dunne stared down and left kind of the segment. It wasn't really nothing to go off of. I don't know what it's going to tease. I don't know what it's really teasing. Maybe a tag team match the following week. I don't know. Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly? That seems like an interesting match. I'd like to see it. Then we got a match between Bianca Belair and a jobber. Bianca Belair won this match in basically 2 minutes with her reverse alley-oop bomb. I'm not too big a fan of that as her finisher. Honestly, her match with Kairi Sane, loved that match. She hit the 450 in that match. I honestly thought the 450 should be her finisher, but they're going with this alley-oop bomb, which it doesn't look like a weak move. It's just like the setup for it takes me out of it. I don't know about you guys. Like, do you think it's a cool move? Like, I don't know what it is. The setup of the move it takes, because it's like she lets you into a powerbomb position, and then it looks like she's falling backwards, and she just lets you fall for it. I don't get it. I just think the setup for it is. Now, here's the thing. If she was going for a powerbomb, and she immediately let you go as she was going for it, it's kind of unsafe. But if she did that, it would look cool. But the way she does it is just, I don't know. It just doesn't look too good. But to each their own. Then we get a interview with Lacey Evans. She's being interviewed by, I don't know if it's Christy St. McLeod or Dasha I don't know which one it is. But she's talking trash about her opponent, Dakota Kai, next week. Talking about how she doesn't have anything on this sophisticated woman. And how I'm going to break her arm again. About how Shayna Baszler did. And then as soon as she said break her arm, Shayna Baszler comes into the frame and Lacey Evans leaves. He's like, "Well, if you excuse me, I have some business to handle." And then Shayna Baszler starts questioning why Ember Moon hasn't responded to her championship match, or her rematch. And I can answer that question. It's because you lost twice. Well, no, technically she only lost once. And Ember Moon won the second match by disqualification. Well, no, Shayna won the match by disqualification. And Ember hasn't really responded to her, so she's all angry, and she calls Ember not a fighting champion. And then she leaves. We then get a segment with Heavy Machinery, Mini Rhino, and I don't know. I forgot the other guy's name, honestly. I was about to call him Riddick Moss. I'm like, no, that's it's not Riddick Moss. But Mini Rhino and the other guy there are in the back training for the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Hopefully they don't face the Authors of Pain, because the Authors of Pain got to get that rub, I guess. We then get an in-ring promo from Tommaso Ciampa, or so it looked. Didn't come out to any music, just came out from the back, walking out there slowly with crutches in hand, crowds booing him all the way down to the ring. I thought this was actually really good. I like it. I like the heel he got. The crowd was booing him so immensely. From the time he came out, to the time he went down the steps, to the time he got in the ring, they booed him the entire time, chanting, "We want Johnny," and all this kind of stuff. He went to go grab the microphone and talk, and the crowd kept booing him. It was basically like how Roman Reigns the night after WrestleMania. The crowd was booing him so heavily, he just didn't want to speak. That's what Tommaso Ciampa was doing, except Roman Reigns said, "This is my yard now," and Tommaso Ciampa just never spoke, which I thought was really good. I don't think if this is the role they want him to do, then don't have him speak. Have him be like the silent psycho killer. Let his action speak for him. And that's kind of what he did in this promo. Because, well, not a promo because he didn't speak. That's kind of what he did because he's exiting the ring. The fans are still booing him, mind you. A fan is holding up a sign, the Johnny Gargano sign in his face. He takes the sign from the fan, rips it up, throws it in the ring, gets back into the ring, gets the crutch, and starts brutalizing this torn up piece of paper with the crutch, which is a hilarious sight to see. But just shows you the psychotic breakdown that this man is having right now, which is just really good. I like it. I like seeing this. What I thought was actually pretty funny as well was that after he beat down the piece of paper, he just walked off without the crutch, and I'm like, oh, you're walking perfectly fine without it, so why did you come out with the crutch in the first place? Maybe he's just trying to mislead the crowd, but if he is, then he kind of did a bad job. Nonetheless, looks like he's probably ready to come back in action, so hopefully we get Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa at New Orleans. And like I said previously, if we do, that match must be a main event. I know there's going to be a big championship match that I'll do another video on coming up in that show. I know there's going to be a Dusty Rhodes Classic. I know there's going to be the most likely main event, which will be Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas, but Tommaso versus Johnny Gargano has to be the main event. It has to be. Then we go into the main event of this show, at least. Killian Dane versus Aleister Black. Really good match by both men. Lots of back and forth. Well, can't say it was really good. It was pretty short, honestly. It was good, but it was short. Like, it could have went a good 5 more minutes and it would have been a really good match. But what it was a good match. Lots of back and forth. This match just showed how amazingly talented Aleister Black is and why he's one of my favorite wrestlers in all of WWE right now. Him and Velveteen Dream are definitely one of my favorite, or two of my favorite wrestlers in all WWE. Like, he's just amazing at high flying. I don't know if he's just trained in judo and taekwondo or if that's part of his arsenal, but he's just so amazingly talented, and I cannot wait for him to be an NXT champion soon. Aleister Black won this match. And that's kind of how the episode ended. So yeah, that was the episode of NXT. I just got some reports that I did not want to see, but it's plastered all over Facebook and the internet, so I'm going to have to talk about it. And that is the talk of a new NXT Championship being introduced. What is it? And what kind of match will it be at NXT TakeOver New Orleans? I'll be making another video on that very shortly. So, make sure you guys tune into that one. I love you guys as always, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.